Number 1. Bizarre habits you wouldn't believe. In Bangladesh, the habit of chewing betel is considered part of the national identity. Betel leaves are coated with lime and wrapped with seeds before being put in the mouth, creating a relaxing feeling similar to chewing gum in the West. In traditional markets or busy bus stations, you will always see betel stalls open all day. When chewed, the mixture secretes a dark red liquid, and people often spit it on the ground, creating countless red spots on the sidewalk. Authorities in large cities have repeatedly tried to limit this behavior, but the deeply rooted cultural habit makes the measures almost ineffective. Meals in Bangladeshi families are always considered solemn moments. People limit talking while eating, especially in the presence of elders, and then move to the living room to chat. Bangladeshi cuisine is famous for being spicy and strong, enough to make tourists cry. Some restaurants offer different levels of spiciness to test international visitors. If you are not used to it, milk or yogurt is always a welcome relief. The hospitality of Bangladeshis is something that many visitors remember. When guests arrive, not only the host, but also the whole family, and sometimes even the neighbors show up to welcome them. In the countryside, guests may be invited to stay overnight and usually never leave empty-handed, as they are always given a cup of hot milk tea. Many visitors have said that they only asked for directions, but ended up being invited into the house for dinner. During the World Cup season, the whole country turns into a festive state. Brazilian and Argentine flags are hung all over the streets, symbolizing the intense love of football. This passion comes partly from natural interest, partly from historical memories of the colonial era, where any team that beat England became a symbol of victory in the eyes of Bangladeshis. Important matches often see whole villages gather around a single TV to cheer. However, cricket is the sport that is closely associated with the national spirit. Children play on the streets, adults play in the fields, and joy erupts when the team wins. Cricket is a place where people from all walks of life come together. Some schools even reserve Friday afternoons for cricket as part of their school culture. If you see old men with bright orange hair and beards, it is henna. Bangladeshis consider orange a symbol of life and faith. During Muslim holidays, women paint elaborate henna designs on their hands as a wish for beauty and good luck. In many rural areas, these patterns are also used to mark important milestones in life, such as weddings or coming-of-age ceremonies. Number 2. The mystery of the Golden Age of Bengal. Bangladesh may be a young country in terms of independence, but its soul has been around for more than 2,000 years. Though just over half a century old, Bengal, where Bangladesh is located, was once an important center of civilization in South Asia. From ancient ruins like Mahastangar to the Paharpur complex, the red brick walls still tell the story of a land that once led the ancient world. From the 13th century, Muslim armies entered Bengal and brought with them the new faith, laying the foundations for the powerful Mughal dynasties that followed. By the 16th century, the region had become the crown jewel of the Mughal Empire. Dhaka was then known as the Venice of the East because tens of thousands of boats moved through its intricate network of rivers every day. Bengal was famous for its muslin, a fabric so thin that it could be threaded through a wedding ring. This, along with silk, cotton, and shipbuilding, made Bengal a center of international trade. Every year, the area produced more than 200,000 tons of ships, 10 times the output of all 19 North American colonies. Before the British entered the Industrial Revolution, Bengal had developed textile, agricultural, and shipbuilding technologies to a very high level. At its peak, Bengal contributed half of the Mughal Empire's GDP, which accounted for a quarter of the world's GDP. Converted to today's value, that figure was greater than the total output of Japan, Germany, and India combined. However, Bengal's fortunes changed when the British took control in the 18th century. The exploitation of resources, restrictions on trade, and the destruction of handicrafts reduced Asia's richest land to a poor colony. After World War II, India became independent in 1947, and Bangladesh was annexed to Pakistan as East Pakistan. Conflicts over language and cultural identity quickly arose. When the Pakistani government forced Urdu to be the sole language, the people of East Bengal protested fiercely. On February 21, 1952, thousands of students in Dhaka took to the streets to defend their mother tongue and were repressed. This event was later recognized by UNESCO as International Mother Language Day. Nearly 20 years later, in 1971, After 9 months of bloody war, East Pakistan declared its independence and became the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Number 3. The hidden life of Bangladeshi women. Bangladeshi women have a soft yet strong beauty. They have warm brown skin, deep eyes, and a confident demeanor. Unlike many Asian countries where fair skin is considered the norm, Bangladeshi women are not too concerned about that. They accept their natural features and do not follow the Western-influenced thin beauty. Some photographers describe them as a combination of the mystique of the Arab world and the typical softness of Bengal. But behind that beauty are persistent social challenges. Bangladesh still has one of the highest rates of child marriage in the world. Nearly half of women are married before the age of 18 and about 15% before the age of 15. In many rural areas, it is common to see a 14-year-old bride marrying a groom in his early 20s. Poverty, family pressure, and the belief that early marriage makes a girl safer are the main causes. Lack of knowledge means many people don't realize the consequences of early marriage, such as lost childhoods, missed education, or complications during childbirth. The Bangladesh government has set a minimum age for marriage at 18 and launched a Girls Not Brides movement. NGOs have opened thousands of clubs for girls to teach life skills, education rights, and self-defense lessons. Thanks to these efforts, the rate of early marriage has dropped, although in rural areas, many young marriages are still considered voluntary. Arranged marriages are still widespread. Parents often choose their sons-in-law based on education, religion, occupation, or skin color. Younger generations have more say in marriage decisions, but family consent remains important. Some dating apps in Bangladesh even include parental input to accommodate local culture. The burden of dowry has not disappeared. The bride's family must provide gold, cash, or various household items. Despite anti-bribery laws introduced in 1980, dowry prices still affect many marriages. In rural areas, if demands are not met, the wedding may be canceled or the bride may be mistreated. Number 4. The unbelievable truth about pollution. Bangladesh is now among the most polluted countries on the planet. In Dhaka, fine particulate matter levels often exceed WHO safety limits by up to 15 times. Living in the city for just one day inhales the equivalent of smoking 25 cigarettes, and on bad days that number can rise to 50. Many environmental experts describe Dhaka as a smog laboratory, where people inhale more particulate matter than oxygen. As a result, average life expectancy is reduced by 4 to 5 years, and more than 270,000 people die each year from pollution, nearly half of them children. The causes are everywhere. Many old vehicles belch black smoke, factories burn wood and coal without filtration systems, and some 7,000 brick kilns operate year-round. These facilities produce more than 23 billion bricks a year, nearly as many as the entire European Union combined, but also emit 60% of the fine particulate matter outdoors. Water pollution is even more serious. Every day, more than 350 tons of waste are dumped into the river. Textile and dye factories discharge untreated chemicals, turning the Buriganga from clear blue to a pitch-black, almost lifeless river. In many areas, arsenic levels in tap water exceed the legal limit by hundreds of times, but for the poor, it remains the only source of water. Bangladesh's pollution has its own sounds. Car horns, engine noise, and construction noise combine to create a constant din. The average noise level in Dhaka ranges from 95 to 110 decibels, the equivalent of standing next to a jet engine. Years of living in this environment have significantly impaired people's hearing. Earwax removal has become popular because many people mistake hearing loss for having their ears plugged. Bangladesh is not entirely disappointed by the situation, however. More than half of Dhaka's traditional kilns have been replaced with closed-loop systems, which save energy and reduce fine dust by 30% in just a few years. The government has also started trials of public electric buses and is phasing out plastic bags. The BRT project is expected to save over 20,000 tons of CO2 each year, equivalent to planting 1 million new trees. Number 5. Where rickshaws rule the streets. Bangladesh is often called the rickshaw capital of the world. On the crowded streets of Dhaka, the sound of millions of rickshaws, horns, and hawkers creates a chaotic but energetic soundtrack. Nowhere else do 2.5 million rickshaws operate every day, more than the entire Southeast Asia combined. Each rickshaw weighs between 70 and 90 kilograms, and when carrying passengers, the total weight can exceed 200 kilograms. The peddlers, most of them poor migrant workers, rely solely on their feet to move. They pedal dozens of kilometers a day under near 40-degree heat and through ever-crowded streets. Many suffer from chronic joint and bone diseases, but the profession remains the only economic outlet for millions of landless families. What catches the eye of foreign visitors is that the tuk-tuks in Dhaka are surrounded by iron frames that resemble small cages. It may seem strange, but this is a common defense against robberies. Once inside, passengers cannot open the doors themselves, and only the driver has the key. Many jokingly call it a cheap armored taxi. Bangladesh's bus system is also unique. Most of the vehicles are old, with peeling paint, broken windows, and torn seats. Many have no doors and are often overloaded. However, buses are still the main means of transport for people because each trip costs only a few dozen cents. On the railway system, the scene is even more impressive. Trains are so packed that passengers have to climb on the roofs, hang onto the doors, or hang on as the train rolls. Tens of thousands of people travel like this every day, even though the average speed of the train is only about 40 kilometers per hour. The government maintains this system because for most people, trains are the only means of transport they can use. And off the rails, Bangladesh takes on a different appearance with its dense network of rivers. The country has more than 700 rivers and 8,000 kilometers of waterways. In Barisal, a city known as the Venice of the East, boats are the main means of transport. People learn to row from a young age, and in the rainy season the whole city seems to float on water. A boat ride costs just a few cents, and a ferry ride of dozens of kilometers costs less than $2. Number 6. The most chaotic capital in Asia. Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh and a city with many layers of history. Some scholars believe that the name comes from the Hindu goddess Dakeshwari, who was considered the protector of ancient Bengal. Others believe that the name comes from Dhaka, the folk drum that was played during every festival. Many Bangladeshis therefore believe that Dhaka was born from music, as a drumbeat that initiated the nation's spirit. The city is the largest economic, political, and cultural center of Bangladesh and is among the 10 most populous megacities in the world. With a density of more than 22,000 people per square kilometer, Dhaka is even more crowded than Seoul and Tokyo. But with that growth comes paradoxes. Dhaka's traffic is so notorious that many describe it as an urban legend. It can take 3 to 4 hours a day just to travel a few kilometers. Narrow streets, crowded with buses, auto rickshaws, and thousands of rickshaws create a chaotic landscape that many planners call South Asia's near-impossible problem. Yet amid the smog and honking of cars, Dhaka retains its own spiritual vitality. More than 6,000 mosques make up the distinctive skyline, with Baitul Mukarram, which can accommodate 40,000 worshippers, a source of religious pride for the people. Dhaka's cuisine retains its traditional flavors despite the rapid pace of modernity. Biryani made with basmati rice and lamb is considered a symbol of the capital, along with spicy curries, hilsa fish rice, and sweet milk tea sold on the sidewalks. While many Asian capitals have embraced Western trends, Dhaka has chosen to preserve its culinary identity. But behind that rich culture are worrying numbers. About 35% of the population lives in cramped slums, lacking clean water, reliable electricity, and sanitation. Some slums sit right next to gleaming office buildings, where the boundary between the two worlds is just a few steps away. Overpopulation, pollution, traffic, and inequality mean Dhaka often ranks at the bottom of global livability rankings, once ranking 171st out of 173 cities. Yet Dhaka remains a fascinating paradox, chaotic yet resilient, poor yet vibrant, a testament to the resilience of the Bangladeshi people. Number 7. Inside the drowning nation. Bangladesh is considered one of the countries on the front lines of climate change. Much of the country is only about 85 meters above sea level, and many coastal areas in Khulna or Barisal are only a few dozen centimeters above sea level. Just a single high tide is enough to turn villages into temporary seas. Projections show that if sea levels rise by 1 meter, about 20% of Bangladesh will be submerged and 30 million people will be displaced. This would be one of the largest climate migrations humanity has ever seen. Natural disasters are a part of life for people here. According to the Global Climate Risk Index, Bangladesh is ranked 6th among the most vulnerable countries. Every year, about 20% of the land is flooded. In areas like Sunamganj, Kurigram, or Gaibanda, people live almost entirely on water. The rainy season from June to September causes rivers to swell, fields to become lakes, and streets to become canals. To adapt, people have created unique models such as floating schools, floating libraries, and even floating hospitals. Thanks to this, children can still go to class and sick people can still be cared for even when the water rises to the roof. Storms from the Bay of Bengal also make landfall regularly. On average, Bangladesh is hit by 1 or 2 major storms every year. In 2007, Cyclone Cedar, with winds of 260 kilometers per hour, killed more than 3,500 people and destroyed hundreds of thousands of houses. Although modern warning systems have saved many lives, the biggest challenge is still evacuating millions of people in a very short time. In addition to these dangers, Bangladesh also has a unique climate with 6 seasons in a year instead of 4. These are summer, monsoon, autumn, late autumn, winter, and spring. Autumn from August to October is the brightest time with clear blue skies and the air cooled after the rains. Late autumn from October to November brings cooler weather, changing leaves and the beginning of the harvest. Number 8. Land of giant jackfruit. You may know Bangladesh for its rivers, rice fields, and colorful festivals, but you may not know that the country also has a national fruit. The national flower is the whitewater lily, which grows in ponds and lakes and is considered a symbol of purity and rebirth. The national fruit is the jackfruit, a giant fruit that is both a source of pride and an important source of food. In the countryside, people often say that a jackfruit tree can feed an entire family because the fruit, leaves, and wood are all valuable in daily life. Bangladesh is one of the largest jackfruit growing centers in the world. The Ghazipur, Tangail, and Narsingdi regions are covered with lush green jackfruit groves. Many of the fruits can weigh up to 25 kilograms and nearly a meter long, almost a natural wonder of agriculture. In addition, mango is considered a national tree. Bangladesh is among the top 10 mango-producing countries in the world, with an output of more than 1 million tons per year. In June, the air is filled with the scent of ripe mangoes, and the streets of Rajshahi glow orange from thousands of mango carts, turning the harvest season into a veritable festival. With 85% of the population being Muslim, Bangladesh is the world's 4th largest Muslim nation. However, it is a rare Muslim society that maintains tolerance and openness. Women are not required to cover their heads, and foreigners are free to dress freely. In Dhaka, you can hear prayers ringing from mosques alongside the bells of temples or the chants of Catholic churches. Another interesting point is that Bangladeshis have a very environmentally friendly diet. On average, each person eats only about 4 kilograms of meat a year, the lowest in the world. They mainly eat rice, freshwater fish, lentils, and vegetables. Nutritionists call this a river diet, rich in protein, low in fat, and suitable for the region's hot and humid climate. Bangladesh has also been home to many influential global figures. Jawed Karim, the son of a Bangladeshi father, co-founded YouTube and posted the first video, Me at the Zoo. In addition, 19th century Bengal was the birthplace of fingerprint recognition developed by scientist Hemchandra Bose, which laid the foundation for modern biometrics, a technology used every day in phones, passports, and banking systems. Number 9. Mysteries. No one can explain. In the heart of bustling Dhaka, there is an ancient structure shrouded in a curse that has lasted for 3 centuries. That is Lalbagh Fort, built in 1678 during the Mughal period by Prince Muhammad Azam, son of Emperor Aurangzeb. When it was first built, Lalbagh was expected to become a symbol of the empire's power in Bengal, the most prosperous land in Asia at that time. But the story took a different turn when Bibi Pari, the governor's daughter, suddenly passed away. The construction was immediately abandoned, and the people considered it a bad omen. They believed that her spirit had cast a shadow over the structure. Since then, no one dared to continue completing the fort. The massive red brick structure stands silently in the middle of the modern city like a puzzle piece stuck in time. For centuries, legend has it that cries from Bibi Pari's mausoleum can be heard at night, making Lalbagh the most mysterious place in Dhaka. Scholars have offered many explanations, from epidemics, wars to political disputes, but to this day, no one has found the exact evidence. Lalbagh remains an unsolved mystery of the Mughal period. About 300 kilometers northeast of Dhaka is Ratargal, the only natural flooded forest in Bangladesh and one of the few freshwater forests in the world. During the rainy season, the water level rises 4 to 7 meters, submerging the ancient trees and turning the whole area into a magical underwater world. From above, Ratargal looks like a green maze. When rowing a boat below, the light reflecting off the water surface onto the half-submerged tree trunks creates an almost surreal scene. However, that beauty is not the only thing that makes this place famous. Ratargal is also associated with unexplained phenomena. Many visitors say that when they go deep into the forest, their compasses and GPS start to work abnormally. Some people only moved a few hundred meters, but the device reported that they had traveled dozens of kilometers. Others claimed to hear footsteps or moving water even though no one was around. Scientists believe that this phenomenon may be related to changes in the magnetic field in ancient soil layers containing iron or minerals, or biological gas pockets below the water surface. But so far, no research has come to a clear conclusion. Number 10. The truth behind the economic miracle. After gaining independence in 1971, Bangladesh was once a symbol of extreme poverty. The world called this country the empty rice basket of South Asia. But in just a few decades, this country has changed dramatically. Today, Bangladesh is among the fastest-growing economies in Asia, maintaining a growth rate of 6 to 8% for more than 10 consecutive years. The driving force behind this miracle is the textile industry. This sector accounts for 80% of export turnover and has turned Bangladesh into the second-largest garment exporter in the world after China. Brands such as H&M, Zara, Uniqlo, and Walmart all place orders here. Every morning in Dhaka, streams of workers in blue uniforms pour into industrial zones, creating a familiar image of the new factory of the world. The garment industry has created jobs for about 4 to 4.5 million workers, of which rural women account for more than 60%. For them, it is a way out of poverty and into status, but paradoxically, incomes are very low. The average salary is around $100 a month, even though they work 10 to 12 hours a day. Even experienced workers rarely exceed $200, making Bangladesh one of the lowest-cost countries in the world. The rapid growth has led to thousands of factories, but safety has been neglected. More than 4,000 establishments operate, most of which lack fire exits, have weak steel structures, and are poorly inspected. The 2013 Rana Plaza disaster, which killed more than 1,000 people and injured 2,500, remains a painful reminder of the downside of development. In Chittagong, the shipbreaking industry reflects a similar story. The city has more than 80 yards along 13 kilometers of coastline. Here, hundreds of thousands of workers dismantle giant ships with their bare hands, directly exposed to oil, asbestos, and toxic metals. 63% have been injured and 81% have respiratory problems, but the wages are only $5 to $7 a day. Yet these demolition sites recycle 70% of the domestic steel, becoming the lifeblood of the construction industry. New buildings are built by their own efforts. After 20 years of work, most workers leave the profession in a state of exhausted health. Bangladesh has risen strongly, but behind those brilliant growth figures is a reality that makes people think. Number 11. Legendary Bangladeshi dishes. If you had to pick the most iconic dish of Bangladesh, the answer would usually be biryani, the aromatic spiced rice dish that has become a symbol of South Asia. Bangladeshis still joke that every wedding ceremony begins with the sound of a pot of biryani simmering in the kitchen. Biryani here is made from long-grain basmati rice combined with lamb, beef, or chicken marinated in a variety of spices such as turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, and yogurt. Compared to the Indian version, the flavors of biryani in Bangladesh are stronger and spicier. The most famous is kachi biryani from Dhaka, where potatoes and eggs are cooked with rice, symbolizing good fortune and prosperity in Bengali culture. Hilsa, a silver fish from the Ganges and Meghna rivers, is considered the national fish of Bangladesh. When the monsoon season begins, hilsa curry with yellow mustard and green chilies appears on every dining table. In riverside villages, the first hilsa meal of the season is considered a sacred ritual to pray for a good harvest. The soft, fatty fish meat and mustard flavor are the pride of the national cuisine. When it comes to street food, fuchka or pani puri is the dish that best represents the spirit of Bangladesh. The hollow, crispy shell is stuffed with potatoes, green beans, onions, and sweet and sour tamarind juice, creating a burst of flavor in each bite. The fuchka stall is always crowded with people waiting, eating, and chatting, creating a familiar scene in Dhaka. During major festivals, fuchka is also an eating competition. The person who eats the most wins, accompanied by laughter and cheers from the crowd. Number 12. Shocking truth about Bangladesh. Pohela Boishakh is the start of the Bengali New Year. It is not only a change of calendar, but also a day when Bangladesh wakes up in red and white. The streets are filled with people, the toll drums resound, and the atmosphere is full of energy. The festival takes place on April 14th or 15th. The highlight is the Bengal Shobha Jatra, an art parade by students of Dhaka University and recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. People dress up in red and white, carrying large models of Bengal tigers, peacocks, fish, and hand-painted masks. Each symbol carries a different message, such as strength, prosperity, beauty, or the spirit of overcoming evil. In addition to the parade, Bengalis clean their houses, wear new clothes, and enjoy panta ilish, a dish of cold rice with fried hilsa fish, symbolizing a prosperous new year. Shops also open new books and welcome customers with flowers, music, and traditional milk tea. Besides the long-standing customs, Bangladesh also has a very unique festival called the Math Festival. This is not a competition, but a festival for intelligence. Thousands of students and parents participate in singing, performing, and playing logic games. Mathematics is expressed as art with rap music, short plays, visual experiments, and interactive games. On the center stage, the slogan, "Mathematics for Everyone," always resounds. Students not only solve problems, but also ask new questions, make models, and share creative understandings of numbers. The event is organized by the Bangladesh Mathematical Olympiad Committee to find young talent. Out of thousands of participants, only 4 to 6 are selected to represent the country at the International Mathematical Olympiad. For them, happiness lies in being part of a community that loves knowledge. Number 13. The wild wonders of Bangladesh. Bangladesh has many stunning landscapes, but none better showcase the country's natural charm than Cox's Bazar Beach. It is the longest natural beach on the planet, stretching over 120 kilometers along the Bay of Bengal. In the morning, the sun rises from the water, and just a few hours later, the sunset turns the same stretch of sand red, creating a phenomenon that is rare in the world. Cox's Bazar retains its rustic charm with soft golden sand, gentle waves, and crystal clear water. Nearby Inani Beach is especially famous during the monsoon season, when huge coral blocks are washed ashore by the waves, creating a strange scene. Further southwest, close to the Indian border, is the Sundarbans mangrove forest, covering over 10,000 km², of which Bangladesh manages about 6,000 km². The name Sundarbans means beautiful forest, derived from the distinctive Sundari tree. This is a huge ecosystem with more than 260 species of birds, 120 species of fish, and especially the Bengal tiger. Only about 100 to 120 tigers live among the network of rivers and forests with tangled roots. Scientists consider the Sundarbans as Bangladesh's natural shield because the massive mangrove root system helps reduce the force of waves and wind when storms hit. When sailing through the forest, the light reflected on the water and the echoes of birds create the feeling of entering another world. If Cox's Bazar represents the breath of the sea, Sri Bengal is considered the soul of the mainland. Sri Bengal is located in the northeastern Sylhet region and is the largest tea production center of Bangladesh, with more than 70% of the total output. The whole area is green hills covered with tea plantations. Visitors to Sri Bengal often seek out the famous 7-layer tea, a cup of tea with 7 layers of color and flavor. Nearby is Lawachara National Park, home to more than 460 species of flora and fauna, including the endangered long-tailed gibbon. Number 14. The cost of living in Bangladesh. Bangladesh in 2025 will still be among the most affordable destinations in Asia, where you can enjoy a week of travel for the cost of a day in Singapore. In major cities like Dhaka, Chittagong, or Sylhet, double rooms in 2- or 3-star hotels typically cost between $25 and $50 a night, while 4-star or boutique hotels range from $60 to $90. In rural areas, visitors can easily find simple but friendly rooms starting from $15. Many families even invite guests to dine with them, creating a closeness that is rarely found elsewhere. Bangladeshi cuisine is both rich and affordable. A meal at a local restaurant costs $2 to $5, while international restaurants typically cost $10 to $20. Street food like fuchka, biryani, or sweet soups are only about $1 to $2 a portion. Bangladeshis joke that if you are hungry in this country, you have not gone far enough to find suitable food. Travel within the country is equally cheap. Long-distance trains and buses cost between $5 and $15. Within the cities, taxis and tuk-tuks rarely cost more than $5 for a single trip. Renting a private car with a driver for the day costs $40 to $60 and is popular with many tourists who want to explore more. Entrance fees in Bangladesh are significantly lower than in most other countries. Entrance fees to heritage sites, parks, or the Sundarban's mangrove forest are usually between $3 and $10. Experiences like river cruises, visits to craft villages, or floating markets cost $20 to $50 per person. Shopping is also very easy on the wallet. Items like traditional saris, carved wooden furniture, folk paintings, or handicrafts cost only about $20 to $40 for the whole trip. On average, a 7-day trip in Bangladesh costs between $400 and $600 per person, including food, accommodation, transportation, and sightseeing tickets, not including airfare. Number 15. Tip that tourists should know. When arriving in Bangladesh, visitors are often greeted with open smiles, but sometimes that friendliness comes with subtle tourist traps. The most common are people who introduce themselves as guides. They often appear at famous tourist attractions, strike up a conversation in English, and offer to show you around with the promise that everything is free. Only when the tour ends, many visitors realize that the free is just a facade. Some people will ask for a fee, while others take you to familiar shops to pressure you into buying things. This situation happens a lot in Old Dhaka, Bagarhat, or areas around large mosques. Those who come to Bangladesh for the first time are often surprised by their tact and persistence. The most effective way to handle it is to gently refuse, avoid long conversations, and prioritize booking a licensed tour or hiring an official guide. Security staff at tourist attractions are usually happy to give directions and answer your questions. Another thing to note is to check the bill at restaurants and hotels. In popular places like Cox's Bazar, some eateries add unclear service charges or local taxes, sometimes as much as 15% of the total cost of the meal. In hotels, it is not uncommon to have incorrect prices or extra cleaning fees. So ask for price confirmation by text or email before checking in to avoid inconvenience. When taking photos, remember that although Bangladeshis are friendly, they value politeness. Do not take photos of anyone without permission, especially women and children. If they ask for a small fee, that is completely normal. In rural areas or temples, people sometimes take the initiative to invite you to take photos with them as a friendly gesture. Also, be wary of beggars or people claiming to be charity workers around religious sites. Some may follow you around asking for money. It is best to politely refuse and move on, rather than stopping or opening your wallet in front of them. And those are 15 interesting things about Bangladesh, a small but vibrant land. We hope you've gained a new perspective on this country, where culture, people, and nature blend to create a unique charm. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to join us on our upcoming journeys. Of the 15 facts above, which one surprised you the most? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. We're always happy to hear from you.